At 25, everyone asked her what she wanted to become. At 30, they started asking why she wasn't there yet. At 35, the questions changed. Why are you still single? Don't you think you're running out of time? Maybe your expectations are too high. Maybe it's time to be realistic. Every question sounded innocent, but each one felt like a reminder. A reminder that the world had a schedule. And according to that schedule, she was late. Meanwhile, other women seemed to have everything. The career, the family, the recognition, the life she thought she'd have by now. Every social media post felt like proof that she was falling behind. Every wedding invitation felt heavier. Every birthday felt louder. And slowly, she started wondering if the world was right. Maybe she missed her chance. Maybe she waited too long. Maybe her story was already written. But then something happened. Years later, long after people stopped believing in her, long after she stopped receiving encouragement, long after the world had moved on, she won. Not overnight, not by luck, not because someone rescued her. She built it herself. And by the time success finally arrived, she wasn't the same woman anymore. Because there is something dark that happens to women who spend years being underestimated, years being overlooked, years watching everyone else move ahead. The struggle changes them. The waiting changes them. And sometimes, it creates a woman the world never saw coming. The invisible woman. One of the hardest experiences a woman can face is becoming invisible. Not physically, emotionally, socially, professionally. People celebrate potential when you're young. But when years pass without visible success, the support begins to disappear. People stop asking about your dreams, stop asking about your goals, stop asking about your future. Eventually, they assume they've already seen how your story ends. That's when the loneliness begins, not because nobody is around, but because nobody truly sees you anymore. And something dangerous happens in those years. She learns to survive without validation, without applause, without recognition. The world mistakes her silence for weakness. But in reality, she's developing a level of resilience most people never have to build. Because the strongest women are often created in seasons where nobody is watching. The pain of watching others win. There is a special kind of heartbreak that comes from watching everyone else get what you prayed for. You smile at their success. You congratulate them. You tell them you're happy for them. And maybe you genuinely are. But later, when you're alone, a question appears. When is it my turn? That's the question nobody talks about. The question that keeps people awake at night. The question that follows women through their 30s and beyond. Because comparison is cruel. It doesn't show you the full picture. It only shows you what you're missing. And after enough years, many women begin confusing delay with failure. But delay and failure are not the same thing. The problem is that fear doesn't know the difference. Fear only sees time passing. And every passing year feels like evidence that the dream is slipping away. That's the psychological battle successful women fight before anyone notices them. When rejection changes her, rejection hurts. At first, then it teaches, then it transforms. A woman who spends years hearing no eventually becomes different. Not colder, not bitter, stronger. She learns not to depend on approval. She learns not to need permission. She learns that nobody is coming to save her. And that realization changes everything. Because once a woman stops waiting for permission, she becomes dangerous. Dangerous to limitations. Dangerous to expectations. Dangerous to every rule that told her what she could or couldn't become. The rejection that was supposed to break her quietly became the thing that built her. The dark side of independence. Here's something few people admit. The same independence that creates success can create isolation. Years of carrying everything alone changes a person. You become self-sufficient. You become capable. You become strong. But strength has a shadow. You stop asking for help. You stop trusting easily. You stop believing people will stay. And eventually, the walls that protected you start keeping everyone out. Many women who succeed late in life discover that independence solved one problem, but created another. Because survival teaches you how to live alone, it doesn't always teach you how to feel safe with others. And that's a lesson success can't buy. The revenge fantasy. There is a fantasy many successful women never admit. The fantasy of being seen. Not by strangers, by everyone who doubted them. The people who underestimated them. The people who ignored them. The people who assumed they would never become anything special. For years they imagine that moment. The moment success finally arrives. The moment everyone realizes they were wrong. And honestly, That fantasy keeps many people moving. Because pain wants justice. It wants meaning. It wants proof that the struggle mattered. But when success finally arrives, something unexpected happens. The victory feels smaller than imagined. Because the people she wanted to impress were never the real problem. The real battle was the voice inside her own head that kept asking, "Am I enough?" The shock of finally winning. Most people think success changes everything. Sometimes it doesn't. The money comes. The opportunities come. The recognition comes. But the old fears remain. The self-doubt remains. The memories remain. Because success can change your circumstances, but healing takes longer. That's why some women reach the goal and still feel empty. Not because success isn't valuable, but because they spent so many years chasing it that they forgot one thing: how to enjoy it. They became experts at surviving, but they never learned how to arrive. The dark psychology of women who succeed late in life isn't about success. It's about endurance. It's about what happens when a woman refuses to quit while the world quietly expects her to. Years of waiting, years of rejection, years of feeling behind, years of wondering if it's already too late. Most people only see the ending. They see the confident woman, the successful woman, the accomplished woman, but they never see the nights she cried, the doubts she fought, the loneliness she carried, the invisible battles she survived. And that's what makes her different. She wasn't built by success. She was built by the years before success. The years when nobody believed. The years when nobody noticed. The years when quitting would have been easier. So if you're in that season right now, if you feel behind, if you feel forgotten, if you feel invisible, remember this: some stories take longer because they're becoming stronger. And sometimes the women who arrive late are the ones who were being prepared for something greater all along. The world sees the victory, but only she knows the darkness she had to walk through to reach it.